Okay, good evening, good evening, good evening to those who are now joining. I'll take another minute before I start. Good evening to all of you. As you come in, you can share the live, share the live, share the live, share the live. Interesting topic tonight, but share the live. Okay, share the live, share the live. Good evening, good night, good morning, good afternoon to whichever part of the world you are. Share the live, share the live, share the live. So I'll take another minute or two before I start. Share the live. All right. Good. Good. Good night. Good night. Good evening to those who are now joining to this the GMS Live, the Voice of Democracy. As you now come in, you can share the live stream. I will take another, yes, I have another minute or two left before I start. Share the live. Tonight is a wonderful session. Last night I know I weren't able to come on back, but I was able to do a nice live coverage of the show, and I know that these glitches do happen with the de facto regime, but I intend not for it to change who I am and distract me from what I do. But good evening to you all. Good evening, good evening, good night. So let them know that Dr. Matthews is in the house. And as I hold on, as I'm now beginning to start, share the live, share the live, share the live, share the live. Yes, good evening to you all. Black love, shared alive. This is GMS Live, the voice of democracy. As I would say, welcome to you who are looking at the GMS live show, the voice of democracy from Guyana to the Caribbean Isles, to the West Indian Isles, to the Pacific Isles, to the British Virgin Islands, to the US Virgin Islands, to those from the Maldives, from Mexico, to those who are living in the United States of America, to those who are living in Canada and England and the European Union and certain parts of China, from Beijing to Hong Kong, from Japan to the Taiwanese Strait to the Korean Peninsula, to those who are looking at the Gavin Matthews show Asian, from the Asian areas, especially those from India and Tajikistan and Uzbekistan. These people who are looking at us from all those places, like from Burma, uh, who are looking at the Gavin Matthews show, to those who are looking at us from the African continent, as far away as Cote d'Ivoire and the Ivory Coast and Sierra Leone, places from Angola and Sudan, Nigeria. Good evening to you all, and good night, and good morning, good afternoon, to whichever part of the world of that particular area that you're looking at this The Gavin Matthews show from. Good evening to those on the South American continent, as far away as from Argentina to Chile, to Venezuela to Colombia, to Brazil, places from Suriname, places from French and Dutch Guyana, the Netherlands, the Curacao, the Isles of Trinidad and Tobago, to the Isles of Barbados, to the Guyanese who are living in the wide diaspora. Welcome to you from Greenland. Yes, that person who told me that they're living there, and someone sent me a message. They look at me from the place, Finland. Don't know where that is, but welcome to you all. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Tonight's show, I'm calling on all APNU AFC members who sits on these commissions to resign. That's one of the basic things that I'm talking about tonight. I would accept your resignation as a part of protest because these people are showing off themselves. They don't, they don't care about you. And the more longer they are where they are, they show off themselves even more. Because they tell themselves, oh, well, they can't do nothing about it. They got to sit in the commission, gotta get a salary. Or they get money. Can't get money if they ain't sitting on the commission. So things can't work for them. So I'm calling on all APNU AFC members who sits on this commission, especially the local government commission. That local government commission, especially that commission. A lot of people don't know why I'm calling for that. But the fact is that at the end of the day, they're trying to make an example out of everything on the local government commission. That's what they're trying to do. And they're trying to dissolve everybody within the main city council. So they're starting with they're starting with, how should I put it over? It's part of the It's part of a financial office within the local government, within the main city council, that they're sending a lot of people home because apparently they ain't got space for them, or so they say. And they say the council would have met and made that decision to send those people home. So they're trying to weaken the main city council so they can have their shares of the IMC, Interim Management Committee. Because if you notice, they have no local government election in August would have already passed. October would have already passed. November is here. No local government election. So what is happening now? Unconstitutional acts being perpetuated by the commission. So if they can't function, well, send them home. Because it's only by elections they are proportional representatives. And if nothing can happen, send them home. I create an IMC, an interim management committee. Now you see the importance of an independency of the mayor and city council away from the ministry of the local government. Because as far as I'm concerned, they're still in charge of that. The mayor still gets his salary from the local government ministry. That's what is happening. So we find now that there's a big vacuum is now being created because we want to replace the mayor and town councils and city councils with an IMC, an interim management committee. So this is the first phase of it. Getting rid of certain staffs because we have the commissions who look over them. Local government commission now in charge. So you find that now they will recommend IMCs, interim management committee. I don't know much about the laws within the local government, but I can tell you this. It's in the papers and everything everybody's asking is unconstitutional indeed. So we have to highlight these factors that we're running into problems with, especially at the commission level. So I'm calling on all APNU AFC members that sits on these commissions to resign their post in protest. So if you resign your post in protest, well then the commissions can't function without the other parties. All political parties needs to be on board to make the commission functions. So if the commissions can't function, well then there's no need for the commission. And that's a part of protest. That's a part of shutting the system down so the country can't function. Because if the dunce says that he's willing to abide by the Constitution, well then, if the members resign off of the commission, well, these commissions can't function because constitutionally it says that it must function with these political parties in place. Well, let's see what's going to happen. Let's see what is going to happen. Then we got another problem. We have a company by the name of Statement Contracting Company. Statement Contracting Company. Did some checking up on it. Apparently, this company is being run by Rolf Ferguson and Shanghai from the Kashif and Shanghai organization. Never they were involved in any contracting services. Building contracting. They are now awarded $346 million Guyana dollars to construct a school in Linden, Bamia School in Linden. I told you all a long time ago, 94.1 is a subsidiary to Barjack. I don't care who talks different. You have some percentages in that little radio station. You call it hits and jams. So, what is going on now? The owners of these different outlets that belong to or has shares that are being awarded or owned by the former president has now been given contracts so monies can funnel its way back into the deranged vice president, because nobody ain't saying nothing. So Gavin Matthews seen it. You know, the thing is that all this information is in plain sight. It ain't hiding. So nobody talking about it. Nobody is saying that these things are now becoming a conflict of interest. Because if you are awarding a building contract, if you are awarding a contract for a company that is newly established as building contractors to award 346 million Guyana dollars for them to construct a school. These two men which are PPP conglomerates. You're making joke, eh? You're making joke. These two men that are PPP conglomerates, I wonder how much must be $100 million on shade after the contract already. Must he gonna use another $120 million to build the school? And look at we're building in Linden. We might use another $100 million to build the school. Somebody get a drawback. You know, it's amazing to see how much taxpayers' money is being peddled out there, being given away. Because here what can happen now, that contract is going to come, it's already approved, it's going to start and it mightn't finish. And they here to run out of money. And somebody else got to go now and take up the rest and the ends that is left. Taxpayers' money again to make sure that that contract is being delivered, is being accomplished. Sorry. You know, we are right in the position where we are 23 years ago when the PPP ruled with that time. And they just don't care because there's no accountability. Nothing. Nobody can carry nobody to court because they ain't got money. The Brooks, the time it take me to court for some contract, I don't award 10, 15, 20 contracts. By the time that one court case finish, I make $300, $400, $500, $600 million. It is chump change to what Exxon gone with. Because 1 million US is 200 million Guyana dollars. So you see where we're at. You see the phase at which Guyana is struggling under. And corruption and the stage of corruption can never, ever, ever be relinquished. It could never. Corruption got to be the number one issue. And it continues to be the number one issue. It continues to be the number one issue. Imagine one is a promoter or one is a DJ, a disc jockey. All they know is to promote and entertain. To them, being awarded a contract of 346 million Guyana dollars. Statement contracting company owned by Royal Ferguson and Shanghai. Those who don't know what Royal Ferguson is, he's the man that owns, yes, he is the owner of 94.1. It's registered in his name, but partially owned because majority of it has been owned by Mr. Jack Deo. So that is where he can push or funnel his activities through. I don't care who's annoyed with me, because it's the same radio station anyhow. Same hits and jumps, same thing. And nobody's talking about it because it's a conflict of interest. None of the opposition members stand up to say anything as they claim to be opposition. That conflict of interest suddenly seems to be nothing at all. That's what I said the other night when I said what I said. It's an entertainment industry. That is the culture that they want to promote in Guyana. So how are they promoting it? Come, girl, come on the radio and sing. Sing for 2 pieces of chicken, some fries, and a 10-ounce drink. Join the bus. Matter of fact, it must done start already. And here we have one is a promoter, one is a disc jockey. Ain't got nothing to do with construction. Nothing at all. But they're being awarded a contract, 346 million Guyana dollars. Taxpayers' money again. You're paying your tax, I believe you should stop. Because we don't own Exxon 9 billion US dollars. We can't pay in a lifetime. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 generations will come and gone and we still can't pay for it. You know, it's 9 billion US dollars. Our gross domestic product, our GDP, doesn't even give the kind of revenue so we can start paying that kind of monies back. That's what we owe them. But they don't take it, so we can't get nothing. We owe them 9 billion for Lisa 1 and Lisa 2. We're suddenly dry. Thing got the well ain't got nothing in it. It dry. So now we got paid them for the operations that they have commenced. But we ain't get nothing from it. And we ain't even got $1 billion in the account yet. We barely jump 800 million. And all the money gone. Everybody running here to skelter to see if they can borrow some money. Because Guyana ain't getting nothing. Zero, nilch, nada. We're not getting a thing. Why I stop saying we just sell out the country? I really why I stop saying the thing. We just sell out no country, friend. We allowed him to. We Guyanese, because we do nothing at all. His decisions might be terrible, but we are doing nothing and we will continue to do nothing. We have already been sold to the highest bidder. No, sorry, to the lowest bidder. Not the highest, to the lowest bidder. Exxon just whip up a figure, 9 billion. Country even got $1 billion Guyana dollars, $1 billion US dollars. We ain't got it. We're getting it from. By the time we start paying an amount of money, you know what happens next? By the time we start paying enough money, we done broke. We already broke. We ain't got money to pay our own staffs, our own public sector. We don't have money to pay them. Oh, you told me the 2% royalty? We can't even get that. The amount of money we don't owe this company. United Guyana for economic empowerment. That is what we need. That's the solution. Where everybody unites under one common cause to increase and promote economic empowerment. And we could only do so when we strike against the administration that is giving this country away. That's what we need. We need a united Guyana for an economic empowerment. Stop spending at the places that promotes this de facto administration that's giving Guyana away. Stop working for this particular administration that doesn't, it's not giving you back anything. A piece of land, money to borrow, and a car to drive. That is all? You think that is all? That's chump change. You think that is life? What is life? Life is to enjoy the economic benefits that this country is gaining, that we have never seen yet. Since 2019, oil exploration has begun. Since 2019. This is 2021. Have we begun to experience such economic benefits? No. I don't care which party's in. But this one here, is a terrorist regime. They don't even know how to govern. They have spent years murdering Guyanese and continue to do so. Now we got a company who's bleeding us, and we haven't begun to experience. We haven't begun to experience the good life for all. We haven't. So our first trip is that all APNU AFC members is to resign from all the commissions. Go to your local elected representative and make sure that they must be uncomfortable. Guyanese. Here, the PPP doesn't have a constituency. Let me make that a part of education tonight. The PPP cannot win an election by race vote anymore. Their constituency has migrated. Guyana has experienced mass migration. Since this de facto regime took over, let me name the countries that has mass influx of Guyanese. Suriname, Trinidad and Tobago, the United States of America, places like Atlanta, Georgia, places like New York, places like Texas. Canada also receive a number of large migration going to that country. And some of them, half of them left with a 10-year multiple. 6 months pass, they ain't come home yet. Six months pass and they ain't come home yet. There is no voting constituency. Essequibo is stagnant. It's on skeleton occupation. Over 70% of the houses that are in the Essequibo Islands, the Essequibo coast, are vacated. People are not there, they're not staying there, they're not living there. You go to certain parts of Berbice, since you cross the bridge, from there till to Crabwood Creek. Mass migration, vacant houses. You're driving, you're seeing it. They don't have a voting constituency and nobody coming home here for vote. For who? That's why they can't get a local government election. And they want to interfere now with the Representation of the People's Act, because the Representation of the People's Act says it is according to what you call it, proportional representation. They want to change that. They want to change that. Apparently, like that is going to humbug them from the next elections, because they don't want to become an installed. They want to change up that. So identification by proportional representation is going to be a thing of the past. That's one. Number two, they are going to make sure that the society now that they have is divided. You have working class and you have poor class. So the working class is going to be represented by the PPP and the poor class is going to be represented by the APNU AFC. So now you have those that are the good slaves, and you got the slaves which are the criminal slaves. So you put the two of them to clash because they're already divided. So it becomes a problem. What you think is happening here? They're destroying our country. They're giving our country away. And when we're filled with this entertainment culture, we can't give an eye or focus on the things that are supposed to be focused on. A restoration of our Constitution. Our Constitution has been taken away from us. It needs to be given back. We need to have a representation of how we're supposed to live by the will of the people. That's how an election is been given. And we got serious problems. We got serious problems because nobody's challenging the system. Even the lawyers that we got are challenging it in a way that we don't want them to challenge, or they feel they tell us, well, look, we already challenged it. We went this way and we didn't. It wasn't prosperous. It wasn't fruitful. Now is a serious promotion on tourism because they want us to be a party hub. While we're experiencing oil and gas, the people should only base themselves in entertainment. That's where they can get the money from. Don't look at oil and gas. Don't even think about oil and gas. Think about entertainment. While we take your money from you, we're helping you to understand that you shouldn't be visible of what is going on. The truth is in plain sight, but you mustn't read. You mustn't understand. There's nobody to inform you. We pay the media. We create a media blackout. So the less informed you be, the better for us. The less informed you be, the better for us, because they don't want you to be informed. They got a problem with Gavin Matthews. He like talk, mouth stink. Got a problem because what he's doing is to never do it. No, you can't educate the people. What are you doing? That's a criminal offense. And to put a man for say, look, this man caused me emotional distress. Make a report and put it before the court. Let me see if he can stop that. Pressuring. You got a lot of pressuring to do, friend. Because this is one cuckoo peas. Can't be pressured at all. Cannot be pressured at all. I don't know what's going on, but I can tell you that. I don't know how to put it over, but it is simple mathematics. We can't afford to pay our public servants. Every month we're finding problems to paying them. But you're finding monies to give out to contracts over $300 million to two entertainers who ain't got a thing to know about contracting services or contract or building contractors who ain't got a clue. And without no scrutiny, presented in plain sight because you feel that the Guyanese ain't gonna know Guyana because they don't care. And expect me to just see it, sweep it under the rug. That's it. When we got huge problems, more than that, 9.5 billion. 9.5 billion. That's the kind of money we got playing around. As in debt. Because Exxon got to get back the money. Sorry. ESO Exploration Production Guyana Limited is making sure that receipt of expenditures must be repaid. Well, it's simple. It's two major companies. It's Exxon and China Oil. Exxon owns 60%. And I think it's another 25-30% owned by the Chinese, and the 10% owned by a little one or two companies that are sister companies of Exxon. That's what I know. That's what I know. And hear how disrespectful is this thing. So much billions of dollars. Then we got a dunce that sits at the head of that. You can imagine putting a 5-year or 10-year-old child to sit on billions of dollars and he doesn't know what he's doing. So you just bring a piece of paper saying, come child, sign this piece of paper, the bottom is so. And he or she just signs away because it's like play school, you know. Bring a piece of paper and some dough and a crayon and little colors, you know, and painting, and just have the child sign or make some handprints. Create a lovely picture. That's what Air Fraud Ali is doing. That's what the dunce is doing. And he doesn't know what he's doing. But he gone till to Barbados to tell us, look, we can send some Guyanese over there so you can teach them or they can learn hospitality and tourism training. What happened to the oil and gas sector? Why you send some Guyanese to Trinidad so they can do some training in the oil and gas field? Than Trinidadians sending their workers here to enjoy the oil and gas money. That the Guyanese government got to make sure that they got to repay that receipt so the Guyanese people can enjoy some of that. 9.5 billion. $9,500,000,000. That's how much money. US dollars. And the Guyana Central Bank could only issue 20 million US dollars. And I strongly believe it's per annum and not for every quarter. The Guyana Central Bank could only issue, that's the amount of US currency they can put out there. They can't go above and beyond that because business is not so bright and these businesses got to show accountability of their monies earned. Boy, oh boy, my head hurts sometimes. United Guyana for economic empowerment. We need to put these people in their place. Guyana needs a new administration. Guyana needs a new breed of people. Guyana needs serious economic change. That's the solution. Guyana needs to boycott all of these people. I prefer we stand up and create an economic boycott that brings the country to its knees because you know why? We need to change the economic atmospheric view or standpoint of what is going on right now by a de facto regime. We need to change that. And unless we don't change that, we will keep going down. What makes sense? It better stand up and shut the country down now than keep falling into debts that we cannot pay and we cannot find monies to borrow. That is what's going on. So what is happening? Cost of living is rising because we keep going into debts. Things become more expensive to import than to export because we're not an exportation country. We import. So we got to depend on foreign currency to buy and to import. So the less the foreign currency is there to available for us to buy, and import, is the more the hell of a hobble we fall into. Oh, and when we fall into that hell of a hobble, we have now the rise of crime. We have now the rise of prostitution. We have now the rise of drugs and gun runnings. You check at it. More hotels are going up in Guyana. They got to make space for the prostitution. They got to make space to the entertainment industry that only promotes alcoholism, drugs, because you got to come and get hype on the Mali and the marijuana and the cocaine, because we got to mix it and we give it the smoke. And next thing you know, we have a high population of people who are now clinically insane because they're consuming large amounts of dangerous drugs. Where is Suku on this matter? Where is the Central Anti-Narcotics Unit on this matter? Where is it? We got high rising going up in this country, Suku. And instead you investigate those government officials. Instead of you investigating those ex-government officials. All the time, you're not investigating the business industry. Where is the enforcement section of the Guyana Revenue Authority that enforces clean business? Where is the enforcement section that enforces the tax and taxes and revenues must be paid by these businesses? Where are they? Where are they? I really wanted to know. I really wanted to know, where are they? United Guyana for an economic empowerment. This is what and this is the place we need to go. Economically, this is the only way we can bring this de facto regime to its knees. This is the only way we can bring them to their knees. They like money. We got to stop turning up to buy their things. Stop going to KFC. Stop going to Movie Tongue. Stop going to Giftland. They don't respect us. They don't like us. Put out those colored dolls there in the Halloween section to represent what? Or to disgrace what? Or to make fun of who? People like me and my history. Disrespectful and racist. We shouldn't even support these people. Where do we go from here? They're taking everything away from us. What else do we need to see, Guyanese? Or to the opposition, as they claim themselves are? What else do you need to see, members of the opposition? Okay, don't put yourself in the category already. So what else do you need to see? I would very much appreciate you. Tell me. They do nothing for it. We see some brothers torn up in the hospital and they're coming out dead. If they put a man into medical-induced coma, there's no guarantees coming out, because most of the doctors that they're doing that, they're not specialized in that particular area. So our healthcare is dead. It's collapsed. It's not functioning. Our healthcare system is not functioning. We don't have the right personnel for that medical industry. Don't worry with the de facto Minister of Health. It's a waste of time. Now, they're talking about other things that they want to implement. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. What is the fact now on the ground is that Guyana becomes increasingly indebted to a multinational organization that nobody is equipped to make certain pronouncement contractual agreement with. Nobody. Not even Barrett Jagdeo could sit down. The people of Exxon to make no agreement for Guyana. He's not qualified to do so. That's a macro industry. Its expenditure output per annum is 100 times. It is 100 times the size of Guyana's economy. Those people deal with trillions, billions, hundreds of millions US dollars. We haven't met. We didn't even meet there yet. The contingency fund cannot excess itself more than 40 million US dollars. Sorry, the consolidated fund can't excess itself in expenditure of more than 40 million US dollars. That's Guyana line. That's marginal. That's within the margin of expenditure. Cannot go over that. Because if it go over that, it has to state how it's going to repay that money. 40 million. Can't expend itself over that. The consolidated fund. So, which accountability you're asking about? Which auditing? From which company? Let me tell you the first thing. That to audit that expenditure, that bill that Exxon gave to you, you first have to get a company that is external, an audit company that is accustomed to handling or to auditing such large amount of cash and expenditures. That's the very first thing. We got the money to do that? No. We ain't got the money to do that. We broke. Which local firm we can ask to do that? We can't even ask Christopher Ram. In all his knowledge, you can't ask him because he have never exceeded that kind of auditing. You could ask the Auditor General. I don't think so. He has equipped himself with forensic audits, auditors from external. So who are we going to ask? Who are we going to see? Nobody. We can't see nobody because we don't know who to approach. Then we're left with Exxon itself. Who's going to watch the cat while they drink the milk? You ask the rat? Come on, let's get serious. Who is Exxon are being left to be accountable to in their day-to-day work of the extraction of Guyana's oil? Or the feasibility study, or their exploration? Who is there to say whether they're explore or explore not? Who do we have there? Instead of worrying to take your local citizens to court for the freedom of speech, study about that. You could imagine you're Attorney General went to the United States of America. I don't think he could go back right now. Till there, he went. And he said he wants a viable, strong opposition. that can push the PPP to better accountability. And he turned around and said, look how we got to deal with. Whilst he was saying that, those boys over there were laughing at him. They said, look, you looking for acts, who we got to deal with? Look who we got to deal with. Stupidness. And the country now frightened for talk because them stupidness think they're big bad boys. You think they could flap the wings now? They can't flap the wings. They're afraid to open their wings because it might get clipped. Them little $20, $15 million money, US dollar we're talking about. It's them buy lunch money. It's them buy lunch money. And $15 million. Them 60, 70, $80 million drugs money. It's them buy bonus money per year. And I'm talking about the narco world that is existing in Guyana. The 60, 80, $90 million narco industry. You know the big boys at Exxon? This is their annual bonus. This is why they laugh at me. They say, look, watch. The murdering the self. The murdering the self. Over them lunch money, me use it at them fancy restaurant. Over one night party, we me use spend at a club. You know? They're killing themselves over it. Hundreds dying. I was reading a report in Times Magazine in the New York Times. Sorry. In the New York Times, I was reading a report. It was in their archive. Talked about Guyana and their killing spree. They could only give account for 400 Guyanese then, in that time that had died. Black men said that. I was at shock and awe. I haven't finished completing the report as yet. I still got more to read. It's amazing how much things they extract from Guyana, the information that is out there about Guyana. And the two main political parties and their views on it. But now we got here more corruption. Now you can imagine this. Imagine this. You got Shanghai, who claimed that he voted for the PPP then, went up in odds with his supporters from Linden, who didn't want anything to do with him after that. Crashed the Kashi from Shanghai. And then we got himself and Roald Ferguson joining together to create a company and receiving $346 million Guyana dollars to build a school. Now, can somebody tell me, can you identify the corruption? Can you identify the corruption here? What do you think is going to happen? Somebody got to draw back, but what are we waiting for? What are we waiting for? What are we waiting for? For them to give them another 500 million to do something else? To build a street that they can't build? To give them another 100 million to redesign two cocos they ain't got no clue of? They say when you bid for a contract, you must have resources to show. The office of your engineering department, the office of your working department, the office of your resources department, your finances, how are you gaining, which bank you're from. What loan do you take to participate in construction? What are you doing? All right, fine. Let us say you're doing all of that. Show the accountability how you get your money. To operate a radio station locally here, you have to receive X amount of promotions to deal with on a daily basis so you can bring it over your radio. And it had to be paid by a viewing community. But most of it is not from the citizens of Guyana, most of it is from the government of Guyana. Who's paying for that? Where are the receipts? How much money is that you would have gained from the de facto regime over a period of time? You know, one tends to wonder, how do one take information and send it? One tends to wonder what type of advertisement you have done over a period of time to accumulate such funds, such revenue, sorry, to say that you got enough to participate in so. All right, put it one side. Then you got your brother and couple of either the family members of our employees were held up in Canada over illegal and illicit activity and drugs. Y'all can remember that time? And Hits and Jams didn't bring it over then. It was brought into the information world in Guyana and it was presented, and then it suddenly was swept under the carpet. Nobody followed up on that after them. A lot of people were held up in Canada. And the Ferguson's name were all over the place. I'm not talking about Annette. But the thing is that these are the same people that are turning up in our society every day and forcing and introducing the entertainment industry that's crippling our culture as a people. It's tearing apart the black family. That's what is happening. It's tearing apart the black family. And where the economic benefits for the black family in this country is concerned, there are none. We are not stakeholders anymore. The 1% are stakeholders. It's complete takeover by dictatorship. We got everybody on board. All the dictators, all the businessmen, they got to come on board. They got to come on board. The private sector commission doesn't have a choice. Whether you like it or not, you're a businessman, you got to come on board. Because the de facto regime is in control of the private sector. But here is the problem. As soon as the private sector show up, They're having problems in representing their members because of accountability. The same thing with the de facto regime because of accountability. They don't care about accountability. They must never ask a question. That is why it's surprising Bishop Warner Jill can sit in the Public Accounts Committee and ask about the bill since 2016. He's forgetting themselves to 23 years and what's going on now. He's asking for a bill since 2016. He's doing your research, yes, but you forget to research on yourself. Remember the bus shed will take $6 million to build? Y'all remember the bus shed? Oh my gosh. Y'all remember the little office that was built over the river, the Pariak Sukai time, for $6 million then? That was since in 1996, 97. That little regional office that he built, that he had to make sure it was built over and properly constructed. Ask them questions, bring up those questions in the Public Accounts Committee. And all the contracts, especially this one that was being handed out to hits and jams if they pass the requirement. Sorry. Statement Contracting Company. I think that's the company. The Public Accounts Committee should ask if Statement Contracting Company has passed the requirement to receive such contractual services from the government as being awarded a contract. Of course, what this person saying on the commentary section is indeed the right thing. He says because the black family is allowing the PPP install de facto regime to destroy them. We have to stop allowing these people that has no sense at all to continue destroying us as a people. Because what are we gaining? Nothing. What do we have to lose? Nothing. United Guyana for an economic empowerment is the way to go. We need to starve these people. They cannot have monies unless it is being redistributed within the population. You all don't understand? The more money is distributed, is the more money to get back into taxes. It gives them a leeway to money launder. So they can always say, yes, 20 million US dollars came and spent in 1 month. It's time to reapply for another 20. Continue and increase money laundering. That's what it is. And we're now between a rock and a hard place because why? We got the wicked witch Lynch along with the State Department who has their knees on our necks as a Guyanese population and people who needs to now rise up and reclaim our position as a people and as a country. Stop allowing these de facto people to take our lives and our culture away. Stop allowing this. You know, one person told me 2 days ago He said, patriotism is what I look, when I look at you, that's what I see. I might think something better than that because of love of country. And because of love of country means the citizens thereof that are in it. That is where we have to look. We cannot keep on down this road. It is destroying us as a people. It is terrorizing us. We're not getting any good thing out of it. It's not making, it's not giving us any, how should I put it over? It's not giving us any advantages. Everywhere you turn, it's destroying us. Everywhere you turn. Everywhere you turn around, we are not gaining anything. We are left at a disadvantage as a nation of a people. And because we're left at a disadvantage, everybody's just abusing the situation, abusing us as a people. You understand? And it's terrorizing us. It's destroying our family unit. There are more divorces that you can think of. The prisons are filled with our men and women because of circumstantial constraints that leads them to that position. The hospital is failing to provide proper medical attention to our pregnant mothers and women. It's failing to give proper medical assistance to our citizens, our senior citizens. We are left to be degraded and oppressed as a nation by a people that doesn't care anything about us. You could imagine before the office of the First Lady, think about the compassion of mothers who are dying not even at child's birth, but before child's birth. She got the de facto, she got the US ambassador and all of them stand up talking about creating a tourism hub or a tourism platform behind at the Pegasus Hotel to enhance what? To go where? To tell what to who? It's a waste of money and time. We need proper attention. Yes, you say you claim you're building roads and you're enhancing housing community for who? For who? Let me know. 1 billion US dollars can do for our country right now because we're in need of it. 1 billion US dollars, much less 9.5. Much as 9.5 billion. We are so blinded when somebody take 5, 10, $15 million and give it to me. We take the hide to the special. account, a secret account. To them, when the people look at us, they say, well, look, these people, I get a small 50 million US dollars in tech and hide it. Not for him, but for the people to enjoy or start enjoying some of it. You know, the PPP continues to play distraction politics. And while they are continuing to play distraction politics, the international community is laughing at us. Because we're not only having the distraction politics, we're having the fear that comes with it. Because we know of the time of the 10 years of tyranny and terror, murder and mayhem, racism in our streets that is continuing to happen by all the industries. And because we lack the representation thereof, it's becoming a problem. Because to have people to represent us, the PPP is now murdering us. The representation of the people. That's who I am. Consider myself to be that. Yes, people may say, well, you're black. Well, I'm black and I'm proud. I am Aboriginal. I'm a dark-skinned individual. I am human. Because to be human is to be dark in complexion, top layer of the earth. To be a man is to be who I am. So I'm human, of course. I'm not Anglo-Saxon. I am strong. I am willing to stand to defend the people, give voice to the voiceless, give hope to those who fear, to give strength to those who are weak. That's why I sit here. To rise up a nation, to revolt against oppression and tyranny. I am designed that way. It's in my DNA to revolt against any oppressiveness or system that promotes tyranny and terror, murder, racism, all these things. I will not be silenced. Neither will I go quietly into the night. I will fight that fight. And I will tear any kingdom down. I don't mind if I have to die doing it. That and will always be my number one choice. So, whilst I sit here and I explain these things to you, I want you to know that the referendum is always there. It's time for you to vote. It is time. It is time to let your will be done and your voice be heard. It is time to demand the Constitution be represented, which is you, must be represented by the offices thereof of the Chancellor of the Judiciary. The will of the people. That's the Constitution. It is time these things happen. And it is time we also contribute to the GoFundMe so we can make the progress of these things a reality. It is time for you, the people, to be represented. It is time someone stand up for you. That time is now. It is time for a change. It is time we become stakeholders of our country and not the 1% of the white collar criminals. It is time. Let me take this call before I close. Thank you for calling the GMS Live Voice of Democracy. Go ahead.
Good night, Alvin.
Good night to you, ma'am.
I don't want to get on the ear. I want just
Okay, well then you have to call me back then. Okay?
call you back.
Yes, because I'm
All
on
right,
here
all right.
presently. Yes.
Yes, all right.
Good.
Bye.
Bye-bye. It is time we become who we are as a people, strong and united. One people, one nation, one destiny. This is Dr. Matthews saying, stay safe, be careful, sanitize yourself, wear a mask. Don't forget the little ones you take into public places. Good night and Cheerios for now.